Okay.
Hi everyone, welcome to ELI, the place where you get your daily dose of inspiration for entrepreneurship. And today we have with us Mr. Yash Raj Agrawal. Uh, he's the founder of Gym Books. Yash is a part of current Y Combinator cohort, and before becoming an entrepreneur, he studied in Symbiosis International University and had worked for companies such as Target. Uh, Hi Yash, welcome to ELI.
Thank you, Priya. Thanks for having me here.
Yes, I would request you to introduce yourself to our audience, please.
Sure. So I'm from Raipur, founder of Gym Books. As you mentioned, educationally, I've done my BBA from Symbiosis, Pune, and MBA from Alliance, Bangalore. Then I worked with Target Corporation for a year, and after that, I started trading in few industrial products. So while doing that, only I realized that there are few gaps in the way traditional businesses in India are operated in terms of bookkeeping and accounting. So there is where that idea struck to have a mobile-based bookkeeping platform. And also in the year 2017, when GST was launched in India and e-way bills were announced, so we thought that probably this is the very right time and opportunity to build something in this industry, and hence Chimbooks was started.
Okay. What is the core business problem you are solving, or should I say, the core problem in our society are you solving through your ventures?
So for when it comes to small and micro-sized business owners, accounting, day-to-day accounting and bookkeeping, they are too much dependent on traditional softwares, which are not do-it-yourself kind of software. So it has to be done by an accountant. So they have a part-time accountant because the softwares are so complex that they cannot manage it by themselves. And when there is this is a pain. So I was also suffering from the similar pain point. So we used to do everything in Tally, and even after doing a there was a training that I had went through before, like in my graduation. But even then, I was not able to do all my bookkeeping, managing ledgers, and everything in Tally by myself. So there is where there was a main trigger which occurred, and I thought that this there is a need of more simpler, easy to use, do it yourself bookkeeping platform. Also, it should be a mobile and cloud based, which the business owners can do it by themselves from anywhere, anytime on the go. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now tell us about your story. How did you become an entrepreneur? Start from the very day one.
So before starting this, I was trained. I actually did made a business plan of pyrolysis industry in my MBA days. So the pyrolysis is a technology wherein you recycle waste tires and produce oil, steel, and carbon out of it. So that was very exciting because it was also in a very nascent stage. That point of time, the technology had just come to India from China. There were only 3, 4 plants in the whole country. So I visited one of them for my project, and I really liked the industry because it was on a very nascent stage. So so that was always in behind my mind even when I joined Target and was working there. So because it was appealing, so after a year of my corporate stint, I left it and I joined that industry. I started trading in those products. I started introducing those products as a material to cement plants and different power plants. But again, it was a very traditional, buying and selling trading business. I wanted to do something in the field of tech, and when I noticed there was a pain point in the bookkeeping industry, so there is where then idea came to how we can bring in a modern approach and link it with some technology to the widespread traditional businesses that are being operated in India. And then we started Gym Books.
Okay. Can you focus on your experience in bringing people together and um, subscribing them to your vision?
Right. So it's our product is mostly so we're talking about gym books, right? Yeah. So it's mostly a marketing. We are following a product and marketing driven approach. So we spend a lot of time, almost like 6 to 9 months initially before launching subscriptions in our product to build a deeper product. A very so what we offer is it's a the I'll just brief you about the product before we go to the subscriptions. What happens is our user signs up with a particular industry, and we show him we customize the set of features, interface, templates, everything for his particular industry. So we offer a very unique bookkeeping platform wherein the user sees the features depending on his particular industry. And as I said, we are following a marketing-driven approach. So we do a lot of digital spends and use download the app. So and we offer a 15-day free trial. So after 15 days of free trial, if he likes the product, then he goes for the subscription.
Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you manage the finances to build and grow this venture? I understand to build a software kind of product, there is a huge expense for developing the product itself. How did you manage those phases?
So luckily, we had been running it through the revenues of our customers. So till now, we have bootstrapped, though we have just got into YC recently. But till now, we were managing by the revenues of our customers itself. So we were lucky. So when we launched the first version of the product, after a couple of months, we launched subscriptions, and from the same month, we started getting few subscriptions. And after initial small investment from my personal investment. After that, we were totally bootstrapped with customer revenues.
Okay. Tell us about Y Combinator. I'd like to understand why Y Combinator is so much hyped and talked about, and what benefits does a startup get after joining Y
Mm-hmm.
Combinator, and finally, what are the different stages you go through to join Y Combinator?
So Y Combinator is something that brings a lot of validation on the table when you are selected there. So it really adds a lot of weightage when you're looking for raising some funds. And so we also started. How did we get in there? Is we were so post COVID. We are because there was a national lockdown. So obviously our business was also affected, and our revenues fell in in the month of April, May and June. And suddenly from the month of July, we started looking for some external investment. And while talking to investors, I came up, just during that process, I came across YCOM and we applied there, and we also got selected. So the thing is, like, before, when we were not into Y Combinator, so a lot of investors showed interest, but we were not able to close a lead in those couple of months. But once we just got into this, so almost every investor came back and they said, like, okay, we are ready to invest, we are ready to lead also. And a lot of other inbound interest from US, from India, and as well as US as well. So we started getting a lot of inbound interest from these guys. So that is the main, I think. I mean, that is one main thing that it really adds to your profile, that validation. Plus, uh, apart from that, they have a very huge network of existing entrepreneurs, like their alumni, plus the current the founders in the current batch. So there's like a lot of big companies in India, like Razorpay, Misho. Their founders are just a message away. You can message them, and you can have access to the libraries of these founders, in not only in India, but in a global level as well. So that is something. It's really motivating. You can speak to them. That adds to your network. And the third thing I would say, Y Combinator brings to your company is accountability. So I mean, before that, we don't continuously have a track of our metrics. we don't have a goal. So all these things come in the picture when you go through the batch of YCOM.
Okay. Y Combinator looks like a very solid and energizing platform for entrepreneurs and startups. But I also understand that getting into Y Combinator is a very difficult process. Can you tell us
Mm.
what is that special thing about your venture that helped you to get into Y Combinator?
I think for us it was the traction that helped us to get into it, because like either the idea has to be very unique, that like that nobody has built something like this, then you get accepted into it if you are on an early stage, or if you have like your business running, then a good amount of customers or revenues really helps. So we had a lot of paying customers and growing revenues. So I mean those were the main. So traction was the main thing that helped us to get selected in YCOM.
Yes, you had mentioned that before joining Y Combinator, you were denied by multiple investors. Uh, can you
Mm-hmm.
share some insights about fundraising with us,
Mm-hmm.
uh, how the fund
Right.
works and all?
So honestly, we were not denied by the investors, but so none of them took a step to lead the round. So what happens is like there has if you are raising a million, so at least around approximately 50% of or above that should be led by one investor, and then there is you can have multiple investors as a syndicate, which can do the other 50%. So what happened is like we like a lot of most of the investors we spoke to were interested for a small like doing 20%, 30% of the round, but till like in the couple of months that where we were having these conversations, nobody committed for leading the round. So unless and until you have the lead investor, it doesn't matter. Like so whoever wants to put small money or small percentage in the total round. So you have to figure out a lead one. So we were just we found it a little challenging in India to close a lead investor at that point of time. The couple of investors, came back and they said that we can do the whole round now. But then because we entered into this and because the lockdown was also, I mean, it was unlock was there and economy also opened it, so we also got our traction back, the revenues back in the company. So we thought let's wait for the YCOM demo day. And so what happens in YCOM demo day is like they have a 3-month batch, and after that there is a demo day where very good investors from across the globe come and you pitch to them, and they I mean if they like your product, they do a deal with you. So we wanted to keep that in focus. So we felt like right now by default we'll go for a Y Combinator demo day and just pause the round for now.
Okay. Okay. Now tell us a bit about the challenges. Of course, you have mentioned a few of the challenges already about the COVID and all. Apart from those
Mhm.
challenges, what are some of the challenges and failures in particular you have gone through as an entrepreneur?
Okay. So, like one of the challenges was, I would say, again, it was more, valid before COVID. Now it's less valid. So, when it comes to hiring employees, we saw that in a city like Raipur, so there are like very good dedicated employees, but then like exposure was a little challenging. So we did not have exposure that employee mainly related to tech and support. The employees in Bangalore and Bombay would have. We did not have in Raipur. And once they start working with us after a couple of after some time, let's say after 1 year, when they have like decent amount of exposure, then they try to go to city like Bangalore or Bombay. But thankfully for us, now it's not the scene. So because almost more than 50% of the industry is working from home right now. So probably blessing in disguise. But our employees have been sticking to us right now. So after post-COVID, the situation has changed. But pre-COVID, there was a little challenge with hiring, with regard to hiring employees with good amount of exposure. Right.
Okay. Yes, coming from Raipur, a tier 2 city like Raipur, how challenging is it to become a successful startup, let alone Y Combinator? I think most of the startups in India, all the big ones, successful ones, are based out of either Bangalore or Gurgaon or any of the metro cities. Uh,
Okay. Yeah.
how challenging is it
Mm.
for a tier two city startup to go to the big league?
So I would say it is challenging in terms of like you don't have a established ecosystem here. So even things like Head Start and other ecosystem partners started just when we were going like around like 3 years back when we started here. Again, I mean they're not we have Head Start and few other ecosystem, but it's not established like in how it's there in Bangalore or Kurgaon or Bombay. So that motivation, we have that lack of motivation. We don't have people around us. So that is obviously one thing which we lack, because of which there is no healthy competition. So there is no drive. So that are a couple of things can be challenging. Again, I mean, that is one reason. Pre-COVID, also another reason was because not every investor closed on Zoom pre-COVID, right? So we had that lack of getting connections with active investors as well. So there are like so many events used to happen on a regular basis on these metros, but we did not have those kind of events where we can pitch it to investors or those things. But again, those have reduced right now. But yeah, so I mean that ecosystem really helps. So that is still in development phase, I would say, uh, in a city like Raipur. And obviously, there has been few breaks because of the COVID as well.
Okay. Yes, the ecosystem, I'm sorry, the industry you are operating in, mobile based accounting industry.
Mm.
I think this
Mm.
industry is growing very rapidly in India with the rise of companies like
Mm.
Khatabook and all. Uh,
Mm.
can you tell us what is so unique about your product compared against every other
Mm.
competitors you have that makes you a
Mm.
very good proposition or very good product for your users?
Right. So, like as you mentioned, most of these companies are a ledger management app wherein you can, just record transactions. Either you have taken credit from someone, or if you have given credit to someone, and you can send payment reminders to collect payment. But we are a full-fledged mobile-based bookkeeping platform wherein you can, users can, starting from their invoicing to making all kind of documents to managing their day-to-day expenses, inventory, ledgers, receivables, time, payments, and now we are also adding banking and lending modules on top of it. So we give a like full business management solution to the users. They can operate it from on mobile and web both. And as I mentioned in the starting, the unique offering on top of this we offer is industry based bookkeeping. So we customize as per each vertical. So we have eight verticals which we have already customized with, and going forward, we are coming with a few more verticals and going deeper onto these existing verticals. So it's not a generic software like you would have heard of. Most of the software in India are, have a generic approach, like it's same for build same for everyone. But we are building like very industry specific solution and service.
One thing I noticed in your LinkedIn page, it says that your application will eliminate the accountants, the shopkeepers hire for bookkeeping. Um, so, don't you think yeah, it is eliminating a job in the market? Uh, is it a disruption in the market, or how is it?
No, I mean, see, that is not the idea. So, if you come to that, I mean, most of these tech companies are eliminating jobs in the market, right? But in some way, we are creating jobs. I mean, we are building some products, and so in another way, we are creating jobs as well. But if you see from a SME point of view, so our target segment is micro and small businesses, which are bottom of the pyramid. So most of these users cannot even hire a full-time accountant, because they will charge at least in even if in a tier 1 or tier 2 city, they will charge around 20-25,000 per month. And we are offering our platform at just like 2,000 per annum basis, and it's totally do it yourself. So it's a lot of saving for our set of users. And because they were not able to hire these accountants, so they used to adopt to traditional methods like maintaining the traditional bill books in which they used to do their invoicing, doing managing expense and inventory on Excel sheets or their traditional, again, rough notebooks. So these we wanted, these practices to go digitized. So there is where our offering comes into play. So we are not trying to eliminate, I would say, accounting. That's a, way of saying it. But then we are trying to eliminate the traditional bill books, traditional spreadsheets, and notebooks where the user used to maintain their books, bookkeeping, and expenses.
Okay. Okay. Coming to probably the last question that I have, tell us what are the learnings you have got as an entrepreneur, which can shorten the learning curve of other entrepreneurs who are listening to you right now.
It's just, if you have some idea, just start building it and keep grinding over it. You will crack it. And the main thing is, look for a problem that exists around you, like around yourself or you people. If you're looking for a specific problem that it's the best, if you have gone through it, then probably you are the best person to solve it. Yeah.
Okay. Did you go through this problem yourself before building?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. I see.
Yeah, as I mentioned, so I was running this traditional business before, and there was a need for a mobile base. I didn't find a good mobile app, and then I do the invoicing and bookkeeping by myself. So that was the problem.
Okay. Okay. So on this note, I think I am done with my questions. Anything else you want to share with our audience? You can do it now. Otherwise, we'll close the session.
Nothing that comes to my mind right now.
Okay. It was a pleasure talking to you. And also, I'd like to thank for taking out time and joining this session. Thanks for your time, Yash, and our best wishes for Gymbooks. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Priya.
That is it for today's episode. We'll be back with another exciting entrepreneur. Stay tuned to ALI.